My name is Emily. I'm 30 years old, and for 3 of those years, I was married to Luke, my husband, my safe place, my steady companion. Now, as I sit here and try to piece together the wreckage of what we had, I'm not even sure where to begin. This isn't some wistful love story full of sweet memories and poetic goodbyes. This is a confession, a raw, unvarnished account of how I destroyed the one thing I should have held on to with everything I had. Luke was the kind of man you don't just find. He was dependable, gentle, the kind of man who noticed the smallest details. Not because he had to, but because he genuinely cared. He remembered how I took my coffee without asking. He would fix things around the house before I even realized they needed fixing. He was quiet in his love, not showy or loud, but constant, like a warm, steady heartbeat I could always count on. At first, that kind of love made me feel like the luckiest woman in the world. There was comfort in the way he loved me. Deep, unwavering, solid. But over time, something in me shifted. I didn't notice it at first. It crept in slowly, disguised as harmless comparisons during brunch with friends or idle scrolling through social media. Their husbands were spontaneous, exciting, bold. They booked last-minute vacations, showed up with surprise gifts, posted couple selfies under candlelit dinners. And though I smiled and nodded along, I started to wonder, was I missing something? That doubt sank in quietly, like a leak you don't notice until floorboards start to warp. I hated myself for even thinking it. I had a good man. No, a great one. But the questions didn't stop. I started to feel restless, like I was watching my life through a window instead of living it. Was this really what love looked like? Or had I settled for something safe when I secretly craved fire? Then came the night that changed everything. It was just a regular night out. Drinks with friends, loud music, laughter echoing in dim light. But I kept drinking. 1 glass turned into 3, then 5. I wasn't even counting. Somewhere between the music and my buzzing head, all the unspoken resentment I didn't even understand bubbled up. By the time I stumbled through the front door, dizzy and barely able to keep my balance, there he was, Luke, just like always, waiting, concerned, ready to help me inside and tuck me into bed. And instead of feeling grateful, I felt rage. I looked at him and, without thinking, said the cruelest thing I've ever said in my life. I don't even find you attractive anymore. The words were like venom, spilling out before I could stop them. He didn't deserve it, any of it. And yet I threw it at him like a dagger. I watched the way his face froze, how his eyes lost their warmth in a split second. That look, that silent pain, will haunt me for the rest of my life. The next morning, my head throbbed with more than just a hangover. I found him sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor like he'd been up all night. "Is that really how you feel about me?" he asked. His voice was quiet, as though he already knew the answer. I scrambled to explain, to take it back. I blamed the alcohol, the stress, anything I could, but Luke didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue or accuse me. He just stood up and walked out of the room, like someone who had been silently carrying disappointment for too long. From that moment on, something in him changed. The man who once lit up when I entered the room now barely looked at me. He didn't yell. He didn't throw my words back in my face. But he withdrew. The little things, the text just to say hi, the spontaneous kisses, the way he used to laugh at my bad jokes, they all disappeared. He became a quiet presence, a ghost still living in our home. I tried to fix it. God knows I tried. I left notes in his bag, cooked his favorite dinners, even though I'd never been much of a cook. I tried to remind him of what we had, what we used to be. One night, I reached for him in bed, hoping that maybe touch could bridge the growing distance. But he pulled away gently and said, "Not tonight, Emily." And I knew then I had broken something in him. Instead of facing what I'd done, I ran from it. I told myself I needed space, a night out, anything to shake the heaviness that clung to our home like a fog. But the truth? I was looking for a distraction. That's when I met him. He sat beside me at the bar, confident, smooth, offering me the kind of attention I hadn't felt in a long time. He smiled and asked if I was okay. I should have walked away. I should have said no. But I didn't. I let the moment stretch, let it grow into something it never should have. And then I let him kiss me. I didn't feel passion. I felt sick. The guilt hit like a flood. I backed away, ashamed, and in that exact moment, I saw him, Luke, sitting in his car across the street, watching. He didn't come inside. He didn't shout or confront me. He just rolled up the window and drove away. The next morning, I woke up hoping it had all been a dream. I found him in the kitchen, calm, too calm. "You showed me last night what I mean to you," he said. "What our marriage means to you." I begged. I sobbed. I told him it meant nothing, that I didn't even know why I did it. But he just looked at me like he was seeing a stranger. "I need time," he whispered. "Time to figure out what's left." He packed a bag and walked out. That was 6 months ago. He never came back. Now he's with someone new. A woman who makes him laugh the way I used to. I see it in the way he holds her hand, in the sparkle in his eyes when they're together. He looks alive again, like he's found peace. And me? I'm still here, in the quiet, living inside the hollow I carve with my own hands. Most of my friends have pulled away. Even my own mother couldn't hide her disappointment. When I finally told her everything, she said simply, "You had the kind of man most women dream of, and you let him go." She wasn't wrong. There's no neat ending to this story. No beautiful lesson or fairy tale redemption. Just a weight of regret. Sitting heavy in my chest every day, I had something rare, pure, unwavering love, and I let it slip through my fingers because I was too blind to see its worth. So if my story means anything at all, let it be this. If you're lucky enough to find someone who truly loves you, hold on. Don't chase illusions. Don't let comparison kill something real. Because once it's gone, all you're left with is silence. And no apology in the world can bring back what's already been buried.